telling your story, the art of storytelling. And you may be like, well, why are we talking about storytelling now? What does that mean for my business? How is that going to help me with sales? Well, you know, the goal of any business is really to deliver value to your customer while being profitable. You know, profitability is not a dirty word, is it? We're all in it for the money, right? Is that, yeah, y'all, everyone wants to make money, right? You know, it starts with you, getting your products to your customer. Pretty simple, but not easy. How do you overcome obstacles? How do you get people to buy? How do you attract new people to the business? Have them join, help them stay. How do you bridge the gap? With stories. Storytelling is the bridge, and there are three main reasons why storytelling can be so powerful for your business. The first one is the human connection. Now, stories have the ability to touch our emotions and create a sense of okay, I knew I was going to have trouble with that word, relatability. Number two, stories. They create memorable experiences. Now, stories help customers remember products and brands by associating them with a narrative. So, memorable experiences. And then three, differentiation. Now, quite honestly, in a crowded marketplace, storytelling sets you apart and gives you that competitive edge. Okay, everyone has a story, right? Every one of y'all. Let me tell you mine. This month marks 10 years with Avon. Yay! August 26th, as a matter of fact. Now, would it surprise you? I think most of y'all know that I'm a reformed tomboy, right? When I told my friends and my family that I had accepted a job with Avon, they were a little surprised, okay? I'm not gonna lie. They paused a little bit. Okay, Dee's stretching herself. She's going to work for an iconic beauty company. This girl loves food and sports, but makeup, okay. She's stretching herself. And I went to my very first sales meeting, and I was still in training. I was still new and learning the Avon culture, and a top leader and seller came up to me, took a piece of jewelry off of her neck, and put it on me. And she said, don't you ever come to an Avon meeting again without Avon jewelry on. And you know what? I never have. I was sold. I loved it from the very first minute, and I've never looked back. 10 years later, here I am up on stage talking to you good people. Now, a few years down the road, having some success, really enjoying the business, and I live in Georgia, so you know where my territory was at the time. But I still didn't have a good skincare game. Reformed tomboy, you know. I thought you washed your face with soap up until, I won't tell you what age. And I felt some embarrassment. Honestly, I felt some shame because I'm working for this amazing beauty company with amazing products, and I believe it, and I know it. But I don't have the confidence to really use it myself. I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't know what to use. I don't know when to use it. What's the order? I keep feeling like I'm getting it wrong all the time. And honestly, how much time is it going to take? It seems like a lot. And I'm busy, single mom, 4 kids. Until one day, holiday season, and I'm scrolling through Instagram, and this is a few years ago, okay? And one of you guys, one of our top leaders and sellers, is on Instagram with a story. It only lasted 24 hours, but I saw it, and what caught my attention was she came on with a naked face. I'm like, okay, I'll click and see what's going on here. Brave, but I'm in. And she is showing her skincare routine in a hurry, in a rush, in a minute. Well, that's got my attention, okay? Because you see, my biggest obstacle is how much time is this gonna take? And in a minute or so, she was transparent. She came on, she'd already cleansed. That process had already been done. She treated her skin with a serum. She moisturized. She treated her eyes. Boom, she's out. And I had that aha moment. I can do that. I can do that. And you know what? I've got every one of those products in my bathroom already. And so I said to myself, we're making a New Year's resolution, and we're going to start a skincare regimen. Let's see if we can do it. And I'm not going to tell anybody about it. 30 days later, the end of January, I've done it every single day, and I haven't looked back. And now I've added treatments, and I'm treating difficult areas. You'll even see me do a demonstration from that leader who gave me the courage to do a naked face on YouTube. And so look at me now. I only wish I'd started 25 years sooner, and I think my skin wishes the same thing. You know, Kendra Hall says it best, the moment you take control of your stories, you take control of your business. And everyone has one. Now, I was impacted by that leader sharing her story, and it changed me, and it changed my life. There are two really important stories that will help your business, and the first one's the value story. It bridges the gap between the products and the people that need them and want them. Now, a value story has a basic structure. The norm. So that's what happened before. And so for me and my story, the norm was I know I needed to use skincare regularly. I just didn't have the confidence in knowing the correct order of operations or really the trust and the time commitment. The next part of the framework, the aha moment. Y'all know what mine was. That demonstration in a minute, I saw it, I saw her do it, and it convinced me. It just happened right in front of my face, and I thought, I can do that too. The new norm, and that's how your life has changed. That's the new normal, right? It makes sense, you know, the name's there. And so for me, my new norm was that loss of shame, that growth of confidence. I started doing something different. I started seeing results. And I had the confidence to tell you guys about it from stage, right? So, what makes a good story? A good story has 4 main elements. So you want to make sure when you're starting to craft your story that you have these. The first one is a relatable character. Now I used an example of someone with skincare concerns. Newsflash, your product is not your relatable character. It's you or somebody you know. Number 2, authentic emotion. How did you feel? What did you experience? What was going on? The third element is a significant moment. You want to have that aha moment, right? And then 4th, the deets. Don't leave out the juicy parts, right? You're painting a picture for somebody. You want to make it colorful. You want to make sure you're connecting the heart with the head. That's where the magic is, when those two connect. Now, before we go any further, I want to talk about something that sometimes is a trap for us, especially in our business. We have a lot of trendy, wonderful products and some staples, and they all have a lot of things, benefits, ingredients. We want to avoid the information temptation, and let me tell you why. Daniel Kahneman, in his New York Times best-selling book, Thinking Fast and Slow, now he goes into great detail about your one brain with 2 systems. Now for the sake of time, let me just explain it to you like this. System 1 is fast, it's instinctive, it's emotional. 95% of your behavioral decisions come out of system 1, fast, instinctive, emotional, and it's always running. System 2 is slow, more deliberate, more logical, okay? So, system 1, fast thinking, system 2, slow thinking. Let me give you an example. 2 + 2 equals, okay, fast. Let me give you an example of slow. When we go to the workshop today, you're going to have to finish an algebraic equation before you can leave this room. Slow. Okay, okay. Who said okay? Everybody's going to be cheating off you. Okay, slow. That's more difficult decisions, right? That's harder stuff. We need system 2, but in sales, We don't want to engage system 2, right? When we start thinking too much, what happens? We slow down, and sometimes we say no, sometimes we pause. So in our storytelling, we want to stay in system 1, right? So you guys get the idea. But I'm going to take it a step further, just to give you a visual. I'm a visual learner myself. So say you're going, you want a dessert, and I know there's a nice ice cream restaurant or establishment right down the road here. You want some ice cream. But you go into the ice cream store, and all it's got is a list of ingredients. Maybe there are price comparisons, and you've got to make a decision on what you want off of that. Maybe you still do, but maybe you've got your children or your grandchildren with you, and they can't read yet. So now you've got to tell them what's in the store with no display, no pictures, nothing else but this. Okay, now I'm starting to sweat because I have 4 grandchildren, and they're all under the age of 2.5. No, I probably am not going to be doing that at that point. I'm probably going to be leaving and going to the grocery store and getting a carton, and we're going home. Or you walk into the store, and it's easy, and you see it, and you're attracted to it. And a picture can tell us 1,000 words, right? Okay, yummy. I'll take a double scoop of chocolate. Thank you very much. All right, so you guys get the idea. Don't overwhelm in your stories with too much information, right? You want to keep it in system 1. So now you know why storytelling is so powerful for sales. It all begins with you, right? We know that the value story is king. It consists of a good framework, the norm, the aha, and the new norm. And we also know it's got 4 components to make it compelling, to not put people to sleep, but to actually make people want to know more, to engage, to be authentic, right? Which is the relatable character, the authentic emotion, the significant moment, and the details. Now, the customer story is just as important as our value story. And you may be thinking, well, Dee, what's the difference? Good question. The difference is very simple, because they are similar, because the framework really should be the same, right? But the difference is in the teller. The customer story comes from them, and it's in their details, not us assuming the details for them. So when you get a good customer story, it is powerful for sales conversion. And it's more than just a good review, even though reviews are important. A customer story comes from your customer, and it's a powerful form of social proof. When potential customers hear about positive experiences, positive results from your existing customers, it builds that trust, it builds that credibility about the product being offered, and truly about you too. These real stories give real life examples of how the product has benefited others. Honestly, it makes it so much easier for them to visualize it working for them. Remember I talked about connecting that heart? I'm doing that wrong. Heart to the head. You guys understand. So how do you collect customer stories? Have you ever gotten a referral from a customer? Have you ever, somebody just said, hey, oh my gosh, the skincare is working amazing for me, or I got such great compliments on my makeup at the party I went to. That's where you start. It's just that easy, right? Start to ask your customers that have already given you a referral for a little more in-depth customer story. Once you start collecting the customer stories and you have your value stories, you may be wondering, okay, where do I use them? Let's talk about that for just a second. I know you guys, many of y'all are experts at out and about face-to-face interactions. But thinking about really cultivating your stories and then kind of getting them in a catalog or a carousel so you can pull them out. So if you have a customer that says that they've got a concern like dry skin, now you may have a value story or your customer story that you can use to really close that sale. You can even use it on social media, maybe getting your customer to agree to give a testimony on social media, right? How fun would that be? Because filling up the spaces, and we heard the stats yesterday about how many people use social media, how many people are on the internet all the time. Filling those spaces with stories that capture the attention, get people to click and want to know more, just like I had my attention grabbed with that naked face, is so important. And let's just dive a little bit deeper, because I never ever want to diminish the face-to-face verbal storytelling that we all do, and crafting those to be intentional about being able to tell them. So I always want to talk about that. That's first, foremost, but just because it's first doesn't mean that the line goes first, second, third. It can be a linear line like that, right? Because you can use storytelling in a reel. And you know what? Let's even think outside of the box a little bit further. You can even use stories just by pictures if you're intentional in what you're trying to caption. Pictures tell a great story as well. So don't think it's just got to be one way. How does it work for you in your business? And make that happen. And start doing it consistently, capturing those stories and keeping them in a catalog. In today's competitive marketplace, the power of storytelling cannot be underestimated. Harnessing the magic of narratives, you will be able to forge deeper connections with your customers, differentiate yourself from the competition, and ultimately drive sales success, right? That's what it's all about. I want you to embrace the art of storytelling.